You mean. Welcome to Combination.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Hey, so tonight we are talking about Warlock Rebirth. It's about, what, a couple of minutes before the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie comes out.
Yep.
And a couple of minutes since Warlock Rebirth #1 came out. Now, Adam Warlock for short, is genetically engineered to be perfect and the next evolution of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
But Warlock Rebirth introduces someone who is perhaps stronger, faster, and smarter than Adam Warlock. Is that even possible, Todd?
Well, maybe. Because, you have an awesome guest star tonight that could be that person in Ron Marz. Creator extraordinary.
Ron, are you stronger, faster, and smarter than Adam Warlock?
Definitely stronger and smarter. Faster, I don't know. They keep moving first base back on me.
All right. So, hey, if you're watching us live, that's great. And you want to play with us live, that's even better. Go to crowd.live/ppzgs. And if you're watching the video while you're here, click the like, click the follow, ring the bell, color out the heart, all of that.
Yeah.
We'd really appreciate it.
Tweet us, Instagram us. All those good things.
All right. Let's get started. Ready?
Let's go.
Countdown has begun.
Ooh. 3, 2.
Adam Warlock first appeared in which title?
I know this one.
Do you really?
I do.
Which one is it?
It is Fantastic Four.
Yay. So
Yeah.
it was what, 1967, right?
I don't know. I wasn't reading comics then.
Why not?
But yeah, that was I think that was Stan and Jack stuff.
Yeah, I think it was Stan and Jack too.
But he wasn't. I think he had a different name than Adam Warlock at that point.
Well, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Maybe that's a question we'll be asking later.
Oh my God, that's what we writers call a segue.
Clever.
So okay, but hey, Adam Warlock had a bit of a unique origin story, let's say. Because in comic continuity, Warlock was created. Well, actually, in all continuities, he was created.
Yes.
But in comic continuity, who created Warlock? Ron?
I also know this one. And I know what all of these. I want to know. I know what all of these answers are, except the first one. But the correct answer for Warlock is the Enclave.
Yes.
All right. And Todd, will you explain to Ron what Biosyn is?
Biosyn is a new company that came out of InGen, which was the former John Hammond company that created all the genetic dinosaurs. Shows up in Forgotten World Dominion or whatever the last one was. So
I don't know. I don't know any details from the Jurassic movies except that there are dinosaurs in them because that's the only part I paid attention to.
Yeah, because dinosaurs are cool.
Our geek.
Well, yeah. I mean, if a movie has dinosaurs in it, it's a good movie. This is a well-known rule.
Yeah.
True. Now, like we said, in the comic books, Warlock was created by Enclave.
Yes.
But in the movie, in the MCU, Warlock was created by who?
Apparently, the answer is a gold lady. A gold lady gift.
Yes.
The real answer is.
But in the movie, do we know what we call the gold lady gift?
I'm going to go with D, sovereign, because that sounds right.
Okay. You are correct. Gosh, Ron, you might just win this. You're doing really well.
Oh, I'm sure we'll get to some
Yes.
now.
So in the movie, again, if you're familiar with the comics and then of course the movies, which you must be if you're here, they move some stuff around. And not only is the sovereign, but the sovereign is Aisha.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know Adam Warlock continuity, that has meaning to you. And if you don't, read the book. So anyway.
Eventually.
So in next week or so, the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie is coming out. Mm-hmm. Adam Warlock's going to be in it. Yeah. Who's portraying him in the movie?
I know this, but that art looks familiar too.
Yeah. Well, whenever we do this, we do try to pull the art from the book because it's nice and it gives people an indication of how awesome your book is.
The lines by Ron Lim, inked by Don Ho, are quite lovely. However, I think the dialogue is a really snazzy part of that.
Really?
Genius. I don't know what genius wrote that, but he's obviously good.
Well, we've already established that he's smarter, stronger, and faster than Adam Warlock. Yes. So that's pretty good.
So this answer, which I remembered because everybody freaked out when they announced him as Warlock, and inevitably, as always happens, oh my God, that guy can't play a superhero. He's just a little dude and he's not in shape. And then they send him to the gym for 8 months and he comes out, looking like Chris Hemsworth. Everybody went, oh, well, he's okay. He'll be fine. Yeah, he'll be good.
It's Will Wheaton, isn't it? Isn't it?
I don't know that he's been in the gym in a while. The answer is Will Poulter.
And hey, for no additional points, Todd.
Yeah.
Will Young Lee. He was involved in a superhero-y comic book TV series and movie. What was that called?
He played Danny Wu in a TV series called Witchblade.
Yep, and Danny Wu was the TV series version of Michael Yee.
Right. Does that make sense?
Ron, you've heard of Witchblade, right?
Not really. Not familiar with it.
No?
So,
although I have to admit, I've only seen a few episodes of the show. Wrote like 100 issues of Witchblade. Only saw a few episodes of the show, and I kind of liked Yancey Butler in the show. She was pretty good, but the show didn't last.
It did not.
It did not.
Maybe they should bring it back. All right. So, Ron, you were talking about the fact that Warlock was originally not named Warlock. He was called what? Or who? Or them?
Looking at that picture, I'm thinking he was, Call Me Maybe. Because that's not Adam Warlock.
Isn't
this one, the answer is A.
He.
That's not right, though.
What's not right? Warlock was called he?
Warlock was called him.
Okay.
I'm going off the board and saying him.
Him?
At this point, you're right. We're wrong. But at this point, I'd like to point out we're multiple choice. And hopefully you chose from the best option you had available. And I profoundly apologize.
And the answer is neither a Stephen King novel, a 1950s giant ant movie, or a long-running British TV science fiction drama. So, Or a first baseman.
But it is interesting to me that the decision was made to change him from him or he to Warlock, which is not to be confused with Warlock, who is a New Mutant, or which is actually even part of the Marvel Universe, or Hillbilly Warlock. That the only thing I can remember about him is that he really likes bacon. And then over in DC, there's the Warlock of Iz, who he fought Green Lantern. You know Green Lantern. Then there's Warlock the Wizard, which that's like a Fawcett character. Warlock Royal, Weather Warlock. Any other Warlocks I'm missing?
There's the Winter Warlock who helps Santa Claus. 1 foot.
Oh,
yeah.
Rankin Bass.
Rankin Bass. Can't go wrong with.
Yeah, man.
There's a lot of Warlocks out there. Choose carefully.
And now everyone will know Adam Warlock because we'll all go see the movie.
Exactly.
Okay. But yeah, we mentioned he got renamed. Who renamed him? Ron, was it you?
No, it was not me. But Adam Warlock's a good name. However, I know this one because I've written this character.
Have you?
This character is not Thanos, who we're looking at. But actually, this character is sort of behind Thanos in this image. So it's almost a subtle hint that the answer is High Evolutionary.
There you go. And High Evolutionary will be in the upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy movie, correct?
Yes, it will.
Yes. What's the name? Todd, for no additional points? Who's the actor who's going to be portraying him?
Oh, if I'm not butchering this too badly, his name is Chukwudi Iwuji, I believe is how you say it.
It's in tight.
Thank you.
Yep. And Ron, for no additional points, the High Evolutionary, he's got a real name. What was his human name?
Bob. I don't know.
Herbert Edgar Wyndham.
Really?
Yeah. Was a
Or maybe it
scientist.
was him.
Herbert Edgar Wyndham. I have to admit,
That would be Hugh.
I had no idea that was the real name. Though, like my name was Herbert Edgar, I'd be calling myself the High Evolutionary too.
There you go. It's got the same. Maybe he goes by High Evolutionary Wyndham because it's the same initials. Could be. Just saying. Possibility, y'all.
Maybe that's why he gave him Adam Warlock, because he wanted the HE or he for himself.
Ooh.
But it was him. We've established. I screwed it all up. It's him.
It's all connected. It's QAnon must be leaving these kind of clues.
Like strands of DNA.
In the beginning of Adam Warlock Rebirth #1, somebody's looking for him. Who's looking for him? I'm thinking it might be Larfleeze.
That would if Larfleeze was looking for Adam Warlock, lawyers would be in tow.
Well, I think, yeah.
Well, you actually used to be able to get away with that sort of stuff. I mean, speaking as someone who obviously didn't put, Doctor Strange in a DC comic or Darkseid in a Marvel comic, because you would never be able to do that thing, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't really do that anymore. They're watching.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but the character who comes looking for Adam Warlock, he's a character you created. Am I wrong?
That is correct. I created Legacy, who is Captain Marvel's son, who we wanted to call when we created him. Ron Lim and I created him, and we wanted to just call him Captain Marvel.
That could be problematic.
And they said, no, there's already a Captain Marvel. And
There's a couple Captain Marvel.
And I said, well, but yeah, nobody's really paying attention to that Captain Marvel now. And he sort of deserves the name, but the powers that be didn't see it that way.
Hey,
the powers that be didn't see it that way until like 7 or 8 years later when they decided, let's call him Captain Marvel and give him his own title.
aw,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Could he get a promotion and be Major Marvel?
He could be Major Disaster. That's another DC character.
So you mentioned that Legacy, his father is Captain Marvel.
Yes.
What's his real name?
That's Will Poulter. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's one of the images from the movie. He was looking good.
Mm-hmm.
He did work out. He did go to the gym. This is one obviously I know because I created him.
Yep.
Legacy's real name is Janice Vell.
Correct.
And I don't know if like Vell is actually a last name. We just kind of made that up, and nobody said no, so we just did it.
Like Kal-El, Janice Vell,
Marvel.
Mm-hmm. And he's got a sibling, right?
Yes, he does. That I did not create.
Okay. Ah, awkward family dinner. So and then also in addition to Legacy, he's been called Captain Marvel, keeping the name in the family, and then also Photon. Is that correct?
Photon, apparently. That was also not me.
You did not. Somebody torpedoed that name. Bad jokes.
We're just gonna
bad jokes.
That didn't happen.
That helps. Really helps.
We're gonna trek away from that pun.
So Janice. Anybody ever call him Jenny?
I'm gonna suspect that in the Peter David run of Captain Marvel, somebody had to have called him Jenny at some point because that's the kind of thing that Peter does.
So Legacy, he's coming to visit Earth, and somebody suggested it. I'm reasonably sure it was not Howard the Duck, but who was it?
It was Silver Surfer, because he suggested it at the end of the Silver Surfer Rebirth mini, which I believe I read.
Well, those of you who were lucky enough to come to our live show
last fall,
Todd and I frequently go to Comic-Cons. We do the trivia show at the Comic-Cons. If you've got a Comic-Con and you want us to come, get in touch, let us know. But we were lucky enough to do this with you. We did a show about Silver Surfer Rebirth at the Baltimore Comic-Con.
Live and in person.
Yes.
In front of a live studio audience.
That's right.
Yeah, and we had a special guest star, even more special than you.
We did. Heckling from the crowd.
Yep. Jim Starlin, because he thought, hey, coming along and playing Combination Trivia would be fun. And it was.
And he was right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should do that again. You going to Baltimore this year?
I am.
Cool.
We should do another show. What do you think, people?
Live and in
Give
person.
us the title we should do. Yep.
Yeah.
So, Legacy, Silver Surfer says, go to Earth. Legacy goes to Earth. And there he meets...
He meets Adam Warlock. And another guy.
Well, eventually, another guy.
Yeah.
What's the other guy's name?
The other guy, who tends to hang around with Adam Warlock quite a bit, is Pip the Troll.
Yeah.
Yup. Now, you didn't create Pip the Troll. Jim Starlin did, right?
That is correct. As long as it was created by a guest or hanger-on of Combination, it's all fair game. But yeah, Pip was Jim's, and in some ways, Pip is sort of the alter ego of Jim Starlin. He tells me.
Could almost see
Jim's
that.
a lot taller than Pip.
Jim's a little taller, but Pip has more hair.
That's true. That's true, y'all. So, hey, final, for no additional points, when and where did Pip make his MCU debut, and who voiced him?
Oh, I think Patton Oswalt. Yeah.
Yep, that is correct.
Was he in? Where was he? I don't know.
He shows up at the very end of Eternals.
Eternals. That's why you always stick around to the end of the MCU movies, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Now, according to comic continuity, Pip the Troll was originally named something other than Pip the Troll.
Oh hell, I don't think I know this. Was it the artist formerly known as Gopher?
It was.
Very good. Well done.
Good.
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Prince Gristle was a character was actually a troll from the movie Trolls. Prince Humperdinck, it can be argued, was a troll from the movie
He's in the
Princess Bride.
Yes.
And Prince Pondicherry was just silly from the movie and the books, actually, Willy Wonka. Remember that prince?
Is Prince Pondicherry an Oompa Loompa?
No, Prince Pondicherry is the fella who thought it would be an awesome idea to have an actual palace made out of chocolate.
So different from Augustus Gloop
Yes.
and Mike TV. And who was
Violet Beauregard.
Violet. She was the nasty one that got turned into a blueberry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Returning Violet.
Charlie was good. Violence is never the answer.
Until it is.
So in addition to Pip, Legacy encounters Thanos' adopted daughter. What was her name again? Thanos actually has a big family. He's got like what? 5 or 6 kids?
For a dude who's obsessed with death, he has a lot of kids.
Yeah, but isn't it a thing that he like goes and he's like, "Hey, I'm about to kill everybody on the planet except you," you know?
Yeah.
You've won the lottery.
I guess it's you make somebody feel special that way, I guess. So his adopted daughter is Gamora.
Yep.
Yes.
And for those of you wondering, yeah, all of these are actually his various adopted children, but the others are his adopted sons.
Mhm.
So, does Gamora have fun in Rebirth #1?
Yeah, she's in there. She's sort of the voice of reason. She's the smartest one out of all of them because Janice.
So she's smarter than Adam.
Janice doesn't know what's going on, and Pip's a lecherous troll, and Adam is not at his best in Warlock Rebirth #1. Bad things happen to Adam.
Bad things. You should really read the book. Now, Gamora, she's an endling. And she's the last of which race?
Oh, hell. I'm going to go with, I don't know this one. I just know I always thought she was an Orion slave girl because she's green. But that does not appear to be one of the answers.
It does not. And she's not.
I seriously don't know this. Can I use my lifeline and call Todd?
Okay, Todd. Let's break it down. So Zygons are
Doctor Who.
They're Doctor Who. They shapeshift.
Yes. Let Zygons be Zygons.
And Zorgons are they're reptilian humanoids who prey. They're vicious and they're always looking for sources of warmth and sources of heat. And they are the main antagonists of Zathura, which is part of the Jumanji universe.
Yes.
And all I'm going to say about Zabrax is Darth Maul's a Zabrak.
Oh, I should have known that.
So that you really should have.
I've written Darth Maul. I should know these things.
He's a Zabrak, which are like they've got the decorative horns. So yeah, Gamora is Zahobri.
Zahobri. I believe that's the way you pronounce that.
Yep. But she can pronounce it any way she wants because she's the last one.
If I had to guess, I probably would have said Zabrak and embarrassed myself because, Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Oops.
She'd be honored to be hanging with Darth Maul, right?
He's kind of cool,
right?
He was the best part of Phantom Menace, which is gaming with faint praise, but something.
Now,
double-edged lightsaber there.
In the comic continuity, Gamora's race was not killed by Thanos, although it was in the MCU. Who killed them? Who killed in the comic books?
All right, so let's do process of elimination. I don't think it's the Brood because they're basically aliens. Like aliens, like 20th Century Fox alien. This was, back in the before times when Disney didn't own both Marvel and 20th Century Fox. Now they don't need the Brood because they could just have the aliens show up. Bismolian, I believe, is a word that's used in the famous Queen song Bohemian Rhapsody, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And Barsoom is my beloved John Carter of Mars's adopted world. So it must be the Badoon. Reptilian bad guys.
Good deducting.
Yeah.
I just wrote
the Expulgence.
I just wrote the Badoon into something, but I can't tell you what.
Oh.
By the way, for no additional points, a member of the Bismolian race was part of the Legion of Superheroes.
Yes, one of the numerous races out there in the United Planets.
Anyone?
Was that before or after they appeared in Bohemian Rhapsody?
After, because that would be in the 31st century,
They named themselves.
Got a guess? Anyone?
Which member of the Legion is a Bismolian?
Element Lad.
Close. It's actually Matter Eating Lad.
Yeah.
Matter. He's a teenager, always hungry.
Yes. And most teenagers will eat anything that matters. So,
So this entire story, this all happens where?
Oh, I know this one because I wrote it. This story takes place. Yeah, the entire issue does. Now that I think about it, takes place on Monster Isle, which in the first version of the script, I referred to as Monster Island, and the editor had to take me aside and say, "I think it's Isle. I think we should put Isle in." and of course, I said, "I'm a 30-year professional in this business. I know the difference between Monster Isle and Monster Island." And then I looked it up, and he was right.
So, for no additional points, Monster Isle is near what country?
It's off the coast of Japan, is it not?
I'm going to go with Hoboken.
It's Japan.
It's Japan.
I just thought it was like somewhere in the Pacific.
No, it seems that if I'm remembering correctly, and I could be wrong, it was somewhere in the continuity. It was like Japan and the Japanese government, being famous for monsters, just started to put them all on Monster Island, just so they could.
Yeah.
So it's like segregated housing.
Yeah, only different.
The kaiju ghetto. That seems unkind.
But
well, except that.
There, so.
Think of it as a sanctuary. Think of it as a sanctuary. It's a monster sanctuary.
Kind of like.
So hey.
Foster's Home for the Imaginary Monsters.
Only different. Okay. So tonight we are talking about Warlock Rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
This is where our questions and illustrations were from and inspired by. It came out last week, and you should go check it out wherever fine graphic novels are sold. We wanted to say a special thanks to Ron for coming in and answering the questions. Some of them, most of them correctly.
And writing some good stuff.
Yeah. And hey, if somebody wants to get a hold of a signed copy, how do they do that?
Looks like they can go to Excellent Adventures Comics, which just happens to be my local comic shop in neighboring Ballston Spa, New York. Owned by my buddy John Belskis, who also runs the Albany Comic Con, which will be in June this year. And we did a signing there Sunday. We had some copies left over, so if you would like a signed copy of Warlock Rebirth #1, and I believe they have the two Ron Lim covers, the Alan Davis cover, the Alex Ross cover, and I think maybe one lone copy of the very rare Jim Chung 1 in 25 variant cover.
Cool.
They have all of them signed.
Nice. And hey, so again, if you're looking for that, Excellent Adventures Comics in Ballston Spa, New York, or you can come meet Ron Marz. Where are you going to be? You said you're going to be at the Albany Comic Con. We said you're going to be at Baltimore Comic Con. Does someone not like you? They're sending you to Alaska?
They're sending me to Alaska. They're sending me to Alaska, and then later in June, we haven't listed this yet. Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yikes! In
my unending quest to follow in Bugs Bunny's footsteps, I'm taking a right turn at Albuquerque. Albany Comic Con in June, Terrificon in Connecticut in July, Fandom Fest in Schenectady, New York in August, Baltimore, GalaxyCon, and there's a few others that have yet to be announced. Three or four others, I think, that are yet to be announced. So those will be on my Twitter page and my website when they're announced. We'll update you. Come see me.
Cool.
Come keep me company.
At that
You
point,
get so lonely.
2 or 3 issues of Warlock Rebirth out, right?
There you go. You can bring them on.
Yeah, I'm actually done with writing all 5 issues. So
Nice.
and on to another thing, which I can't tell you what it is, but
it has to be
yeah,
done.
I'm actually done, and Ron Lim is drawing the last few pages of issue 5 now. So we're in excellent deadline shape. Everybody's happy.
Hey, and when you're doing the next thing, you want to come back and join us again at Combination and answer some questions?
Sure, I might even know even more of the answers at this point.
Well, speaking of the answers, let's talk about the winner.
Yeah, tonight's winner. Go, 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 go. This is Michael Niosi.
Michael Niosi.
Dano Cosmic.
Dano Cosmic. And Harold Hill.
Woo!
So one assumes that they got every answer correct.
Pretty much.
Wow.
Good job. Well,
better than the guy who wrote it.
there you go.
That's impressive.
There you go. Well, again, we just want to say thanks for stopping by. You can't play live if you haven't showed up live, but you can watch the video. You can recommend the video. You can give us a like, a follow, etc.
A tweet, ring a bell, send us an email. Tell us what you think.
Yep.
Yeah.
And hey, if you'd like, I heard Ron say he'd come back. So what should we ask him about next?
Good question. More cool comments.
Anyway, let us know what you like. And above all, keep reading comics.
Yes.
See you later.